required to allow the new height is required to allow the installation of exterior doors on the south side of the cottage where there is an existing door that is 5 foot 10 inches high. Connecticut State Building Code requires a minimum clear height of 6 foot 6. The proposed doors are industry standard height, 6 foot 8 high, with the addition of a wood header, top plate, and roof rafters. The proposed roof edge height is 8 foot 2.5 above the floor elevation. The result of a roof edge height increases of 5.5 inches more than the existing roof height edge. The asphalt shingle roof slope of the existing cottage is 312 for the main portion of the cottage and 1/8 12 for a smaller portion of the cottage. The existing cottage roof peak is approximately 10 foot 6 above the floor elevation. The roof edge height I describe above starting point for the roof slope. Proposed cottage slope will be 312, the same as the main roof of the existing cottage. Many shingle roofing manufacturers and design professionals recommend a minimum of 312 slope in northern climates for asphalt and fiberglass shingle roofs. The roof slope of 312 for the proposed cottage will produce a roof peak height of 12 foot 3.5 inches above the floor elevation. This is approximately 1 foot 9.5 inches higher than the roof peak of the existing cottage. I don't see. Is there another page to that?
No, I don't. That was it.
That's it.
That was it.
Okay. Is there somebody speaking in regards to this evening?
Yes, I am. My name is Robert Powell. I live at 6 Sunny Slopes Road in Columbia. I'm a licensed architect in the state of Connecticut, and I'm the agent for Candace Tanner. Thank you, Joe, for reading that narrative. I was going to go through that, but you did it for me. That's nice. Thanks. I call your attention to 2 drawings that were submitted as part of the application. One is the site plan that was developed by Datum Engineering. The second is an architectural plan and that shows elevations of the existing building, proposed building, and proposed floor plan. The first drawing, the site plan shows the location of the existing cottage at 136 Route 87. There's an existing house that's closest to the road, and then the small cottage that is just southeast of the existing house, just as a point of reference for you. The second drawing that was submitted is an architectural drawing that shows the existing exterior elevations of the cottage that is there now, and it shows the proposed exterior elevations. Again, as noted in the narrative, the footprint is actually staying the same, actually slightly smaller than the existing footprint. The location would be in the same location. We're not proposing to change the location of this existing cottage, the proposed cottage. The biggest thing, or the reason we're here, is to increase the height of the roof. The height of the eaves would be higher by 5.5 inches, and the height at the peak would be higher by 1 foot 9.5 inches. So it's they're pretty slight changes. The overall shape of the building would stay pretty much the same. Again, location is identical, and again the heights are just slightly higher. Again, the reason for that is to provide the required door height, which is required by state code, and also the roof slope being a minimum of 3 and 12 would mean that if we change the eave height, we also have to change the peak height. So it's relatively small. Just as you pointed out, Flo, all the abutting neighbors have been contacted, and Ms. Tanner has spoken personally with the majority of those neighbors. So, any questions?
Yeah. What do the neighbors say? What do the neighbors say?
I would refer to Ms. Tanner.
They were very curious. The sign on the street made them think I was going to be editing the main house. I assured them that I was not. And as I explained the project, they were all positively, they all expressed favorable attitudes about it. No one, they had, questions, so they were well informed, but they were also accepting of it. They agreed that it wasn't going to change their view of the lake. And a couple of them actually said, but I can't even see that house from my house.
Mm-hmm. Thank you.
Now, that property is non-conforming, obviously, and that is probably one of the reasons why we're here today, I would assume. You're not changing the footprint, you're actually reducing the footprint. When you're asking for a variance, we have to come up with, a reason why this is different than any place in the surrounding area. It's got to be very unique to the property, and
Excuse me, Joe. I think the thing to remember is that this cottage is about 90 years old. It was built by Ms. Tanner's grandfather, who was not a professional builder. The roof rafters are 2x4s. It really is. It doesn't meet local code, and it probably is pretty unsafe in its existing condition. So I think to try to renovate this existing cottage is going to be cost prohibitive. I know cost is not a hardship, but it's an opportunity. Ms. Tanner is providing an opportunity to bring this thing up to code, which I think is important, and is willing to stay within the footprint of the existing cottage. And the only reason we need the variance is because of the roof slope and the height at the eave, which again is a building code requirement. It's also my understanding that the building codes take precedent over zoning codes. So, we really need to meet the building code requirements.
Bob, when I was out there today to inspect the property, I noticed there wasn't a foundation under that cottage. It looks like it's just sitting on cinder blocks, basically.
Yep, you're absolutely right. That's another reason to rebuild it.
I presume that you are going to put in some kind of a footing system, and
we would put in a traditional foundation system with footings.
Okay. Is it going to be a full basement, or is it going to be? No. Okay.
No, it'll be a crawl space.
All right. Good. Yeah. It says, my God, this is like Dorothy's house and blow over for the 3 pigs.
Well, it's interesting that cottages like this actually do survive.
Yeah, it's amazing.
In spite of things, but they do survive. But it would be a challenge to try to rebuild this thing.
Oh yeah, no.
And Connie, are you there?
Yes, I am. Can you hear me?
No, yeah, I can hear you. There's no building code regulations or zoning code regulations in regards to tearing down an existing building and putting up another one in the same spot, is there?
Well, we have our non-conforming structure regulations, which are 10.4.1, which actually would allow them to rebuild in the same footprint, which is what they want to do. The only reason they need a variance is because they're increasing the nonconformity by increasing that envelope. So they need to get a variance because they're increasing it, but we have to be cognizant of the fact that they're increasing it because it's required by building code. So they would not be able to get the proper permits to do this without making this very slight increase in the roof height. And that's why I had Jason Noasad, our building inspector, look at the application to confirm that. I also spoke with our town attorney initially to make sure we even needed to go through the process because of the fact that they had to do this to comply with building code. And he felt it was still important to have the process.
Really? Because I think that was going to be my next question. Why are we here?
And that's why, because I did check with Rich Roberts, the town attorney, and he said that because regardless of the fact that they have to do it, we still need to go through our process outlined in the zoning regs, which is if you're increasing a nonconformity, you need a variance. So it was under his advisement that we still went forward with this.
See, I always thought we dealt with footprints. rather than volume of building and heights of building, because the heights of buildings are the building official's responsibility,
That's
not
correct.
the ZBA.
But
ZBA's responsibility has always been for lot coverage and encroachments on side yards and rear yard setbacks. That's why I still disagree that I don't think we should be here.
Well, our zoning regs specifically speak to increasing the volume of a nonconformity. That is actually verbiage in our zoning regs. If you are
Yeah, but the
increasing,
volume,
And-
is the volume the footprint?
no, the volume is the height.
The square
I'm not gonna argue with
cubic
you, but I
footage, I would
disagree.
think.
Okay, well, I don't know what to say. That was how I interpreted it, and I know that is how other towns interpret it. And I do know we've had one other application quite a while back that dealt again with what we considered volume. So it was, going up. But if they just were going in the footprint and not, which they are, without going up at all, they would not even be in front of they wouldn't be here with the variance. It would have been something
Yep.
I could have just approved, and I would have been quite happy with that.
Okay, I don't have any more questions.
Just one question
Does
for
anybody?
Bob. Yeah, I do. Bob, when you put the new foundation in, is that going to raise the grade? Are the rafters above the grade more than 5.5 inches?
No, the existing cottage has a floor level that's about 1'9" above grade. And we're going to keep that existing level for the first floor. And we're working off of the first floor going up. So the first floor is our benchmark. That's where we're starting from. The existing floor and the proposed floor will be at the same elevation.
All right. Yeah, I just thought it might be a little higher because those are very short to the ground blocks.
Well, the floor level actually is not. I mean, the siding goes down below the floor level, so it's deceiving.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, good. Thank you.
Okay, anybody else have questions?
None?
Nope.
No? Somebody want to make a motion to close the hearing?
Motion to close public hearing?
I second it. Keith Peck.
Any discussion, anybody? Then all in favor?
Aye.
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 Yes. Okay, we will resume the regular meeting. And our new business is this ZBA 2021-1 application of Candace B. Tanner for a variance to demolish an existing non-conforming cottage and rebuild a new seasonal cottage with the same footprint, actually smaller, but with the increase in building height at 136 Route 87, Columbia, Connecticut. Somebody want to make a motion?
I'll make a motion to
And-
approve the application of Candace B. Tanner for a variance to demolish the existing non-conforming cottage and rebuild a new seasonal cottage within the same footprint, but with an increase in building height at 136 Route 87 of in Columbia of the assessor's map of 013B, lot 047 in the LAR zone.
Second.
Second. Okay, we need to have a discussion to discuss what the variance is. And my feeling, the variance should be that the existing structure does not meet current building codes.
I would be in favor of adding that into that.
Anybody else?
Yeah, that would be fine.
Yeah, agreed.
Okay, nobody else has any questions, then I would bring it to a vote. All in favor, say aye.
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 Opposed? It's unanimous. Okay, that was easy.
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Okay, next item of business, unfinished business. We have a schedule for meeting dates for next year. They were in the packet. Has everybody reviewed them?
Yes.
Yes.
And then a motion to approve the meeting dates for 2021.
Motion to approve the meeting dates for 2021.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
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 Aye. Anybody have any correspondence or anything they wish to add?
I don't believe so.
No. Well, I'm not an attorney, but I really believe that hearing should not have been held.
Well, you know, Joe,
That's my discussion.
I had the same feeling. I felt like if it was building code that required the increase in height, but like I said, I did check with Rich Roberts, and if you'd like, I can forward you that correspondence with him.
No, it just seems, you know, we've always dealt with, like I said, we've always dealt with footprints, lot coverage, encroachments.
Yeah.
You know,
very-
and now we,
It's
and
unusual.
my feeling, it's very unusual, is right.
It's unusual to have, I mean, we do have this specific language in our regs, and it's unusual to have somebody want to just increase the height. And it was a very modest increase according to our building.
Yeah, it
official.
really was. Yeah,
Yeah.
absolutely. Yeah.
I felt, you know, when they came in, I talked to Bob Powell,
Yep.
and I thought, like, this seems like it's going to be a waste of everybody's time, which is why I laid it all out for Rich Roberts. And he said, you have it in your regulations. You need to follow your regulations and go through the process. So.
Okay. Well, I still disagree with Rich Roberts. So that's my opinion. But
I would have
that's
preferred
me as usual.
your answer, but.
Should have called me first. I'd have told you, forget it. Tell them they don't need one. Go get a building permit.
Oh, God. Well, I'll know next time.
Yeah. All right. No, I just, you know, it's just sometimes I hate seeing people go through stuff like this. On top of it, it costs them, what, $600 and something?
Yes.
And, you know, he hasn't even put a shovel in the ground.
Yes.
So it's, I don't know. I'm not blaming the town, believe me. You got to do your job. I just think it's just something we shouldn't have had to deal with. That's just my opinion.
I agree with you. And I do think that when we rewrote the regs for non-conforming structures, we did save a lot of people from having to go through this process. So,
Yep.
you know, and we had another application, I guess it was Mr. Sullivan, and the only reason he had to come in was because they were moving the well and septic. So there are just a couple of little things in the regs that do require us to still go through this.
Yeah, and I'll have one more comment on the pitch to the roof.
Yeah. Well,
I've been always taught, told being a roofing contractor for the past 40 something years that you don't put I hope they don't put shingles on a 312 pitch. The smallest that shingle manufacturers want is 412.
Really? Well, I
Yes.
do know that Jason Noah said that he was surprised they asked for such a small pitch.
Exactly.
Yeah. So that's interesting.
I hope they use some kind of a rolled membrane or something on that roof other than shingles, because it's not the right product for that. But I'm talking about something I shouldn't probably. Anyways,
I mean, that's your business.
my
expert.
I would never do that.
No.
I would never do that. I would never put shingles on a 312 pitch.
And Bob Powell is the architect, so, and he's on our planning and zoning commission. So
I'm gonna call him up.
okay,
I would do that. Save these people
I'm going
some
to.
grief.
there you go.
Because I don't even, Wasn't Bob involved with the library?
I
Yes, it was.
Yeah, that was-
probably was.
I don't like the products they used on the flat roofs over there.
Uh-oh.
That was
that's
cheap
my
and dirty,
opinion.
that's why.
What about a
That was,
metal
but that's
roof?
my, metal would be great, absolutely.
They have
work
some really
perfectly.
nice looking products out for metal now.
Oh yeah, we install some nice products.
There
Pricey,
you go.
pricey.
Nice copper roof.
Yeah,
How
right.
about solar panel roof?
There you go.
That's right. They have
Can you,
the
al-
new
can't you
Tesla.
also use, can't you also use aluminum for roofing?
Yeah, there's aluminum panels, there's galvanized metal panels. They all have this Kynar coatings on them, and there's a lot of different products out there. Some that are somewhat ribbed and scalloped and everything else. There's so much out there today. Anyways,
I love my metal
motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn.
Second.
Seconded.
Okay, everybody stay safe.
Hey,
Thank
have
you.
a
too.
good day.
All right,
Do
guys.
we
Thank
have
you.
anything coming,
Thank you,
Connie, for
thank
next
you,
month?
everybody.
Yeah.
Thank you, everybody, for coming
We
to the
do?
meeting again, too.
No, we do not have an application for next month yet. Is that
Okay.
what you asked?
Yeah.
Oh,
Okay.
I forgot to mention one thing, that we do have a new member.
We do.
That was voted in on the 20th of October by the Republican Town Committee. Is it David Holcroft?
Correct.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Welcome, David.
Yes.
He's not here though.
No.
No, I know he's not. I was surprised.
Well, I don't know.
He has to get sworn in.
Yeah. Oh, okay. He hasn't been
Yeah.
sworn in
Yeah,
yet.
we're just still getting him on board.
Okay.
Okay, well, I'm glad to see that we got somebody to replace Jeff.
Yep.
So,
Yeah. The
Right,
more
great.
people, the better it is. Less pressure on you guys.
Yeah,
yeah,
for sure.
pressure. Yes, for sure.
Is Andrea still here, or is Andrea here tonight?
Who? I'm sorry.
No.
No, Andrea.
No. No,
She left. She
I haven't
took
seen her in a
full-time-
while.
She took a full-time position, I think Hebron or Tolland. I'm not
Holland,
sure.
I think, or Vernon, maybe.
So,
Good for her.
yeah.
No, good for her.
Yeah.
All right, everybody.
Good night.
Till next